particular episode, we are going to be looking once more into the president of Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traore. He is making headlines after refusing a 200 mosques proposal from the Saudi Arabia, allegedly because we found out an article that came up and debunked that claim. He has also banned all French and American media from taking part in covering issues concerning Burkina Faso. And with everything he's doing, many African leaders and the world in general is calling him a leader to be respected, as he is standing up to different Western countries. But on the other note, there has been an increase in the insecurity in Burkina Faso, and one can only ask if this increase in insecurity is related to his coming to power. This is a report. I'm your son, Doris. But before getting to the video, make sure to like and subscribe to the Next Generation Media channel so you don't get to miss out on ever subsequent videos. So, President Ibrahim Traore making headlines. Many are calling him the African leader of the century after an alleged report came out where he had refused 200 mosques proposal from the Saudi Arabia government, and he said rather than build these mosques, they should take it to more, they should invest the money into more things that the Burkina Faso really needed, like schools and all that. We had the Breach that reported on this. The article read, Traore rejects Saudi Arabia's offer to build 200 mosques, says he wants hospitals. Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has rejected an offer from Saudi Arabia to build 200 mosques in the country. Instead, he asked Saudi Arabia to invest in projects that would help his people more, such as schools, hospitals, and businesses that create jobs. President Traore pointed out that Burkina Faso already had enough mosques, with many of them not fully used. He explained that the country needed development projects that would make it stronger and help it grow in important areas. His decision reportedly reflected his broader plan for national progress. Since becoming president, Traore had focused on improving public infrastructure to ensure lasting development. His government had introduced reforms to improve how public projects were managed. The Ministry of Housing now controls the entire construction process, from planning to housing, while making sure all safety, environmental, and technical standards are met. Beyond infrastructure, Traore has launched initiatives to address the housing shortage, especially for people displaced due to scarcity problems. On July 12, 2024, he announced a project to build 1,000 social housing units, showing his dedication to providing homes for all Burkinabe by 2030. In his push for economic self-sufficiency, the president has also rejected financial support from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Instead, he wants to use the country's own resources. His government is focusing on agriculture, local industries, and sustainable development to build a stronger economy. By rejecting the Saudi offer, President Traore made it clear that his priority was to focus on education, healthcare, and economic growth. He said he believed these were the key areas needed to secure a better future for Burkina Faso. And these are all very great plans, I would say, for Burkina Faso. You can see he's someone who has a plan, he has a vision for the country, and he's working to do that. But then, like I said, this claim that Saudi Arabia offered 200 mosques to the president and he turned it down was later debunked by another news article from the News Central, and that article read, fact check, no evidence that Traore rejected Saudi's offer to build 200 mosques. Further goes to say, a viral claim on social media suggests that Burkina Faso's leader Ibrahim Traore rejected an offer from Saudi Arabia to build 200 mosques in Burkina Faso. It goes further to say that Traore suggested investing in schools, hospitals, or job-creating businesses instead. But after checking the facts, this story turns out to be completely untrue. When examining the communications from Burkina Faso's foreign ministry and official documents, there is no mention of any mosque building offer from Saudi Arabia. Also, there is no record of Traore rejecting such an offer. Burkina Faso's official news agency hasn't reported on any proposal involving 200 mosques. If this sort of diplomatic exchange had occurred, it would have appeared in government reports or diplomatic records from both countries, yet no reliable sources confirm this story. A chat with journalists on the ground in Burkina Faso also confirms this to be false news. This false claim has started because of confusion during the Saudi ambassador's visit to Burkina Faso on January 16 to 17, 2025. Official records state that the visit was mainly about improving relations between the two countries. According to some reports, Saudi Arabia did donate tons of dates to mosque workers in Burkina Faso, as they reportedly did in Nigeria, but there was no mention of a discussion about building 200 mosques. Listening to this, I would definitely believe that there was not actually a proposal for 200 mosques. It definitely was a donation, as been stated in this article. One reason why I would believe that the donations or the proposal for the 200 mosques was not made is because I believe he himself, the president, would have come up and talked about him refusing the 200 mosques offer, but rather we just have articles here and they mention it. Maybe they had a suspicion they were maybe underlays, but I don't think any formal proposal was made that was rejected later. So yeah, on that note, let's just say that particular news, fake, debunked. But moving on, we also mentioned that he had banned all American and French media from covering issues related to Burkina Faso. And I saw this post on Facebook from Nautical Bless. Yes, says Ibrahim Traore had banned all the American and French media group in Burkina Faso, saying Africa also needs privacy, just the way America or France cannot allow African media groups in their country. And on seeing this on first hand, whenever it comes to silencing media, it's always a very sensitive topic, because the media is what gives the people their voice. So once you start silencing the media or in any form, it becomes an issue. So there are different officials or different countries that were not so happy with the decision that he had taken of banning the American and French media from talking about Burkina Faso, like reporting on Burkina Faso. But on me doing further research, should I say investigation, you tend to find out that America has also had those instances where they had banned certain African media groups from reporting on certain events. So it's not just a first-time thing that you find a president banning maybe the American and French media. They have also had maybe Americans, French have also had those instances where they have banned certain African media groups from reporting on issues. It was even, I think, some months ago, it was being discussed online how America was saying, oh, these African groups can't report on this or report on that. Maybe generally not banning all African media groups. They did not ban all of them, but they had put certain restrictions on what they could report on. So I believe it's some sort of a power play, because I think he said, okay, if you can tell us don't report on this, why can't I tell you not to report on this? Because I think the Americans had really, American media and French media were really going on pressing negative things about him, pressing about the way he does his thing, what he's trying to change with the country. And he just didn't want to have it, okay? They were bringing false news, things that were more poisonous to the minds of the Burkina Faso people, apparently. So he decided to ban them from reporting on those issues. That's the decision. And on my stand, I would just say in general, banning media is not a good thing. I understand definitely that he doing that is because he saw that there was some sort of power play that they were doing, like, oh, we can ban you, but you cannot actually tell us what to do. Because once it became some of a big deal, because him banning them is all over right now. I remember when the Americans did it, was somehow it became news, but it's not something so much discussed about, just like, oh, they have done this might be bad, this might not be bad, it has happened. But more on the President Ibrahim's case, it was like, this is definitely wrong. He's silencing media, he's not supposed to do this and that and that and that. You see definitely that there is some sort of one side claims some sort of supremacy to their media influence. So in general, media should be something that should be preserved always. Whether I'm not supporting the fact that he banned the American or French media, because I believe that media should always be given the chance to speak, whether it's fake or true news. That's why you get to find the actual truth. Like concerning the 200 mosques claim that was said, we have many articles that are published saying that there actually was a proposal that was turned down. I have other articles that come up to say, oh, we're debunking, this is actually a lie, this is a fact check, it's a lie. So if you don't have these both sides that tell you A and B, so you can choose from, you find that just one voice stands, and when only one voice is speaking for a country, there's high probability that the country is being dominated or being somehow put under a dictatorship mandate. So I'm not fully in support of him banning all American and all French media. maybe a regulation to what they could do would have been better. But I also understand that there is some sort of power play. The way they are reacting to him banning this media is not the same way that they reacted to Americans banning African media from publishing certain things. So yeah, on that issue, maybe he could have done it differently, but he had a point he was sending across, and I think he has actually gone across to the American and French media right now. And finally, we have talked about all the great things President Ibrahim is doing for Burkina Faso. You can see the economy. Burkina Faso, Burkina Bay, they are really looking up to having a better economic standing due to all the policies it's putting through. But one very genuine fact that we should not overlook, and I think maybe should be looked into more, is the increase in insecurity that is happening in Burkina Faso, despite all these other economic changes. You should at least admit the fact that Ibrahim Traore is a person who has had up to 19 assassination attempts to his life in his short time of being in power. That's, I think, 2 years going to 3 right now. In just that short time of him being the president of Burkina Faso, he has had 19 assassination attempts to his life. And there has been a drastic increase in the terroristic actions that are happening in Burkina Faso. People are being displaced because of the terrorist actions there. So at the same time, we can applaud everything he's doing, and we should still be asking, is his presence also attracting a certain sort of rebellion that is also influencing the people on insecurity? I know he had initially promised to step down from power after a particular amount of time, and that time has passed, but he's still there, and the people still love him because he's doing the work as a president, a good president. Another day, I just say with Burkina Faso, as long as they love the president that is, the person that is ruling them, then every other country should practically, again, I'm going to say, shut up. I think sometimes countries can get very nosy into the business of other countries. Yes, of course, they're trying to talk about human rights, maybe the right for freedom of speech or press and all of that. Human rights are trying to protect the civilians. But at the end of the day, what really matters, what says that this country is moving in the right direction, is, are the citizens pleased with the ruler? If the citizens are saying, we love Ibrahim Traore, once we continue going, like every single Burkina Faso is proud of him right now, then maybe everyone should back off. If they are comfortable, if they are okay with their president, despite the increase in insecurity, despite his different policies he has put up, if they believe this is a vision that will lead them into a better lifestyle, then I think other countries might need to actually back off from putting some sort of pressure on how things should be run in Burkina Faso when their president has already spoken. So on that note, well, kudos to Ibrahim Traore, and more we should keep looking to Burkina Faso because their insecurity is really skyrocketing. But I'd like to know what you think about everything we've talked on today. Do you believe there's actually a refusal for 200 mosques that happened from all the news you've heard? Do you believe that his banning of the media, the French and American media, was a good stance? And the insecurity issues in Burkina Faso, can it be linked to his running in state for so long? Well, give your opinions down in the comment section below, and we'll see you on our very next video. But before you go, make sure to like and subscribe to the Next Generation Media channel so you don't get to miss out on any of our subsequent videos. Bye.